Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan Valmont with BJJ Fanatics and Fanatic Wrestling, and today I am out in Australia at Sydney Wrestling Academy, joined by Kanard, and we just got done filming some instructional content for a new video that should be coming out soon, where we learned a whole bunch about something I don't know much about at all, which would be leg locks from a whole bunch of different positions, a bunch of different entries, lots of finishes, a whole bunch of really good stuff for you guys that like playing that game. But we also talked a little bit about wrestling, me being a wrestler, starting to get into jiu-jitsu, and we were talking about a little bit specifically about how IBJJF and ADCC rule sets differ, and how some areas of both of them are beneficial to wrestlers and some are not. And so a little bit more about Lucas. If you guys don't know, he is an ADCC Trials champ in 2024. Also was at the inaugural CJI tournament this year, where he had the submission of the tournament, which is pretty impressive with all the names that were there. So this guy really knows his stuff, and I don't know, we're just gonna get a little bit of a preview of how he does his wrestling for jiu-jitsu, and then we'll kind of talk through a little bit of how the point system works for specifically for ADCC. So, Lucas?
Okay, so I'm not going to pretend to be a wrestling expert. We had a wrestling round yesterday, and I think we learned that very, very quickly that I'm not that. But I can talk about the rule set of ADCC and how it differs from IBJJF. I think it's important to know the rules for any competition, especially if you want to have a shot at winning them. So I think specifically, it's important to understand how to score a 2 in ADCC rules. So for this technique, just say I've managed to hit my double, right? Unlikely as that is. I'll try and hit my double. And in this situation, I'm gonna put my partner's hips on the mat, so I'll just go just so we don't go out of frame. And in this situation, because I've stayed between my partner's legs with his hips on the mat, I'm likely to score 2 in this position, right? As long as the ref likes me enough. If I walk outside his legs, into this position, well, now I need to put 80% of his back on the mat in order to score here. So this would be a clean takedown, and this is 4 points. So it's actually a better idea in terms of creating a pin and scoring in ADCC rules to actually step over his legs or even between his legs for close guard. If I stay outside his legs, at least even from a technical standpoint, this isn't ideal for me. As I start to walk outside his legs, this gives him a good chance to heist and then put me in a front headlock. So as I walk this way, it's often the case that I'll come under him like this, and this is not ideal. This is why you're gonna see so many people like from New Wave, like John Carlo does this all the time. If my head is under him, I'm likely to look for an Iranian lift or things like this. For me personally, if I get caught in this position, right, I'm gonna try and suck his knee to my chest. I'm gonna try and, from here, reach for his hip and try to turn this into a dogfight as much as possible, right? And then from there you can limp arm, walk to the other side, all sorts of good techniques available to you from there. What we're looking to do is score 2 instead of going for the golden snitch, where you're trying to get as many points as possible, but probably missing all of them. Step over the legs, make sure you get your 2, and then you can pass from there.
Yeah, I mean, this is really important stuff if you guys are trying to get into ADCC, or if you're, again, a wrestler like myself, where you're trying to make sure you're clarifying how many points you're getting for a takedown and then the back exposure. I know I had one tournament where I was in the ADCC rule set and I was a little confused on this, so it's been helpful to get a little bit of clarification from somebody who has a lot more experience there. But you say you don't know wrestling, you're talking about Iranian lifts and stuff here. But I do like the whole idea of being able to progress through this position and not just giving it up completely. I mean, the higher level athletes, the jiu-jitsu players who are starting to incorporate wrestling a little bit, instead of just giving up completely and letting go of the leg and ending up in a front headlock position, he's transitioning to a single leg, keeping his head on the inside, which is much safer for jiu-jitsu, whereas a wrestler might be tempted to keep their head on the outside if it was there in a high crotch position. But just very safe and good transition there. And then, sure, put yourself in that wizard seatbelt or the dogfight position in jiu-jitsu, and at least give yourself a chance to win that position and hopefully come out on top and get your takedown as well. But can we see that one more time, just from the takedown, and then with me kind of popping up my hip and then going to a finish?
Yeah, man. So say I managed to hit my double leg. From here, ideally I would step over his legs and score. Just say I were to walk towards my clean takedown, I would make sure my head comes inside straight away. I suck his knee to my chest, and now I'm gonna reach for his hip straight away. from here, because my partner's likely to have an overhook, I could limp on, or if I don't feel I'm able to do this, I'm going to straight away walk towards this body, looking to attack the turtle from here. Hopefully that's helpful.
Nice, really good stuff. And guys, again, Lucas has a video coming out. We didn't go over so much wrestling in that video, but again, all sorts of leg lock, heel hook stuff. Again, I learned a lot, not being too experienced in there. So stay on the lookout for that video if it's not out yet. And on that note, while you're waiting, make sure that you are subscribing to this YouTube channel where you're seeing this content, a whole bunch more for free. And then also make sure you're checking out our stores, bjjfanatics.com, fanaticwrestling.com. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And aside from that, thanks for watching, guys. See you again soon.